Hi. We're going to start standing today. And I want to focus today on deceleration. When we're on the equipment, you hear me say that a lot because that's how we relate to the reformer and the springs. We have to decelerate every time we bring the carriage back in so we don't crash into the stopper. And you have to decelerate when you go out to the end range of the motion to make sure we don't hyperextend any joints or lose stability somewhere in our body. But I find in class speed, like when we're moving with our breath, sometimes the deceleration moment still happens too fast for me to really believe we're like paying attention to it. So here in the mat exercises, let's try to remember me, Kate Valone. I want to keep the focus on moments where we can kind of pause, slow things way down, do a spot check, and make sure that we're using deceleration to get one of the primary uh, goals met of doing Pilates, which is that you're teaching your muscles how to work while they're getting longer. So that's an eccentric contraction. And that is an important part of putting the brakes on something. It's almost like if you imagine if you were lowering a bucket full of water by a rope and you'd want to let it down slowly and smoothly so all the water stayed in the bucket. That's the kind of contraction we're getting the muscles to do. So the way you'll feel it in your body, sometimes it feels like a stretch, sometimes it does feel like slowing yourself down to stop, but this is where we start to build up some of that like elastic reboundy response that we need as preparation for power movements, like the squat to prepare to jump kind of moment. Okay, let's get to that. So I want to start out just warming you up. Let's put your hands on your shoulders and what do you call this position with your elbows? Floppy? A little bit forward, wherever they kind of land. And I want you to begin some shoulder rolls. As you're doing them, add a little bit of a lift and collapse. So your whole body starts to express the movement you're creating with your shoulders. Do 2 more of those. All right, leave the legs out of it. Take the circles the other way. Try to leave the wrists and the elbows loose. So they're just getting dragged along with the shoulders. And again, kind of a little flop and lift, collapse and rise. 2 more times. All right, arms reaching out to the side. And then just nice big side bend and back to center. And the other way. As you're swaying side to side, let your hip lean out just a little bit. If you want to add a little bit more, you could also take your leg behind the other one. Okay, and then we get more of a long stretch through the whole side of the body at once. And reach. 1 more to each side. And stretch. And center. Stretch. And center. Relax your arms back down. All right. Arms out again. Get them about as low as your chest. Leave a little bend to your elbows. But then I want you to pretend you're hugging a really big exercise ball. So you're holding your arms with tone. I'm going to have you march, picking your leg up fast, but then placing it down slow. So I'm going to do a powerful lift and then slowly and gently release it to the ground. See how I have so much power almost threw my balance off? That'll get better. But if that's happening to you too, just your body kind of being surprised. I don't usually ask you to do something fast right away to work out. But I want to make contrast, and I want you to have to organize that. When you're driving your leg up, try to stay neutral on your back. I know you're not a robot, so you don't have to be rigid, but you want to resist tucking your pelvis to lift your leg. So I'd rather have less leg and just a nice straight back, and then up. Notice now what's happening on the way down. Okay, so now that you're in a bit of a flow, as you're lowering your foot, gently land your toe, ball, heel. I want you to be totally quiet as you hit the ground, but try to feel the sensation of the floor spreading along the length of the foot, toe to heel. Let's do 4 more. Okay, so attack and then soft. Lift and drop. 1 more time. I love when I'm leading you in an exercise I can barely do. Ta-da-ta. Let's go down to the floor. Onto your back. Not onto your back. Towards that way. Let's go to your forearms. Semi-reclined. Towards your back. Okay. So get your forearms as wide as your shoulders, maybe a little wider, might be more comfortable. And then press away from the floor with your forearms so you feel like you're lifting and sticking out your chest. Now there's going to be a little tuck to your chin. I want you to just look straight at the wall ahead of you. Open your feet a tiny bit wider than hip width. And you're going to start a rock of your knees, letting them both drop to the same side, and then just across the other side. So allow in this motion freedom in your hips. When you're powering this, let the weight of the legs cause the pelvis to rotate. And here the deceleration is how your obliques control slowing down the move as it ends. Let's do 6, 5, 4, and 3, 2, and 1. All right, when you get back to center, just reset that push in case you sunk a little bit. I'm going to have you walk your feet in a little closer than whatever you think normal is. And we're going to do a set of toe taps. So once your chest is lifted, I want you to take an exhale breath and do a small pelvic tilt where you're rocking your hips towards your ribs, lengthening your lower spine like we would imprint if we were flat against the mat. And then lift one leg and then the other to tabletop. This can be harder than when you're laying flat on your back. All right, try a couple normal toe taps just so you can feel how you'll stabilize. When you exhale, lower your foot towards the mat. It's okay if you make the angle at your knee a little less than 90 so the leg's not so far away. Inhale, back up. Then try your other foot. I just have to cough. I'll be right back. Sorry about that. Exhale down. Inhale to lift. Now you're using the breath to compress your abs so you're supporting that slight tilt you made. Now as you're going down, I'm going to have you on this one see what it's like to stop before the motion's over. So this time lower your leg down like 3/4 of the way to the floor and just hold there. Keep breathing. Now when you exhale, use this whole breath to just draw the abs in a little bit deeper so you can really feel how you're trying to brace. Hold isometrically here to fight this weight of the leg. Now let's use a whole nother exhale to get the foot to the floor from here. So real slow. Feel it get heavier and heavier. And when you're moving slow, you're curious, when will this end? Where is the ground? Boom. And then inhale back up. All right, let's try one of those on the other side. So exhale, you're going to go down. It's amazing how fatiguing that is, right? One rep. So you're going to get 3/4 of the way. And just be there. Take a breath in. We got a whole hold breath, which you get the compression in your abs. Resist the grip of the hip flexors. One more breath in, and real slow. Lower, 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 and then back up. All right, before you go again, we're back to regular speed. The way those abs were, can you use your breath to create that much stability? And right at the end, still try to work to slow it down so you can find more energy here. Okay, exhale, you're going to lower down. Let's drag it out till you're out of exhale. That's the speed. One breath, but a real thorough breath. Inhale, lift. Exhale, tab it down. I am just going to breathe so we can be realistic about how long that should take. Exhale down. I have a lot of faith in you. And then back up and exhale to lower. The closer your foot is to you, the lighter this load is. You could definitely modify it because we still have to do one more on each side. Exhale down. Check it on those forearms. Lift your chest a little more. Inhale, lift. And last one, tapping down. And inhale, lift. Let's take that first leg down for good. And then the second leg. All right. Land on your side for your spinal rotation. This is what we do all the time. Do I ever talk about decelerating? No, but it's here too. All right, so let's get our angles right. You are going to feel these the best if you have a 90-degree angle at your knee and at your hip, and if you are in your best neutral spine. So again, resist curling, make your back nice and long. All right, bottom arms under your head like a pillow. So the cue I'll often give is that you're wringing yourself out. You're trying to keep your hip still and twist your rib cage and the rest of your upper body. So the wringing yourself out, just like you're twisting both ends of the towel. Now, I said this should stay still, but then I did this where both were twisting. So to get the deceleration effect we're talking about, even though this hip isn't supposed to move, I want you to think of it turning forward. That counter pressure or counter energy you're giving it will create an anchor to hold you still, so we have to slow down to the end range, okay? So let's take that top arm forward. I'm going to stop talking this much. The whole workout will not be like this. Please don't turn this off. All right, here we go. Inhale, top arm lifts over your shoulder. Now when you exhale, press down on your knees, and that'll help anchor your hips. Now start to rotate your upper body. As we get closer to the back range, just a little bit, push your hip forward because you're anticipating that it's going to fall back if you don't stabilize. Now stay here, take a big breath in. I want you to hold for a second, exhale. Let the shoulder relax, but double down on your effort to push your legs down to hold them still. Take one more breath in and feel your rib cage expanding. And then when you exhale, lift your arm and close back over. Let's try one more slow one like that. Let's take an inhale, top arm goes up, and then exhale, rotate back. So if the ribs are rotating back, that hip is rotating forward, abs are compressing in the space between. Stay here, take a breath in. Now when you exhale, see if you can let go of tension in your shoulder as you make more tension through the compression of your breath. Take another breath in, and then exhale to lift your arm and close. All right, let's do 3 faster ones all the way back on your inhale. Inhale, anchor the legs, rotate the upper body, let your gaze follow, and exhale, lift your arm and close. And again, inhale, lift the arm, reach back, open the chest, and exhale to close back down. 2 more times. Breathe in as you reach back, and exhale to close. Last one. And exhale, compress the abs, close back down. All right, let's take it to the other side. All right, head on your bottom arm, legs in tabletop, and elongating. Sit bones and the crown of your head reaching away from each other. Top arm forward at chest height. Let's go back to those slow poke ones. All right, when you breathe in, lift your top arm above your shoulder. On your exhale breath, rotate your upper body and let your head follow the hand. Let's hold here. Take a big breath in. Start your exhale. Feel the support of the compression at your abs, and then let your shoulder relax. Glide down that blade. Take another breath in and stay. Now reach your arm out so it feels real long. Take it up to the ceiling and over to close. And again, inhale, top arm lifts up, and then rotate towards the back. Push the top hip forward and let the shoulder hang down. All right, stay here and take a breath in. On that second exhale, make sure the deepening of the spiral is coming from the spine and you're just bringing the shoulder with it. Take another breath in and exhale to lift and close. All right, let's go through those faster ones. You're going to inhale all the way back. Exhale, draw your abs in, close down. And again, inhale, lift and reach wide. And then exhale to close. 2 more times, inhale all the way back. And exhale, close it back down. 1 more time, inhale and exhale as you close. All right, from here, let's go onto your back again. All right, let's play around with a few ab preps and then we'll add stuff to that. All right, I'd like to give you just a base crunch so you can make sure your neck's okay, your low back's okay. So hands behind your head today, elbows angled forward a little bit. Let's take a moment to sense before you move. Feel your feet. I want you to be able to connect with your inner thigh muscles as a force into your pelvis. So something that will support you doing good core work. Give a little pressure into your big toes without letting the pinky toes lift. And then if you imagine that same spot, like the inner edge of your heel, give that a little pressure as well. And by activating those 2 ends of your foot, you should feel an isometric contraction in the inner thighs. Now, rock your pelvis back and forth a few times, like you're going from neutral to imprint, but don't be so formal about it. Just make some movement. And I want you to try to settle to where you feel that your pubic bone is about as high as your hip bones, and you have a slight curve present under your low back. So you're trying to create your neutral spine like the way you want to look when you're standing. All right. Your pelvis is your anchor point now, so try to keep it still in neutral. Oy. When you breathe in, you're going to tip your chin down a little. As you exhale, curl your head and shoulders off the mat and gaze towards your knees. Hold here, take a breath in, and expand your ribs. When you exhale, compress your abs and lower back down. Inhale, tip the chin down slightly, then exhale, flex forward. Use your breath to slide your ribs towards your hips. Hold at the top, take a breath in to stay, and then exhale to lower back down. Inhale, nod the chin. Exhale, curl forward. Breathe in, keep that pubic bone heavy. Now start your breath and compress the abs a little, lower back down. Inhale, nod the chin. Exhale, flex it up. Breathe in to stay, and then lower back down. Okay, so just sensing if this pelvis is moving or not. Sometimes takes some adjustment. But now we're going to keep focusing on not moving the pelvis. We're going to add a march of the leg and see if you could kind of balance out that you've got all these forces moving at once. Let's alternate the marches. So when you exhale, you're going to flex up and lift one leg to tabletop, and then inhale, put it down. Let's use that same gentleness you did on your toe tap. Exhale, march and crunch, and when you lower your foot, try to roll toe to heel. Exhale, flex forward. Inhale, back down. So I'm going to keep you going at this kind of slow pace. Since it's slow, like take the time that feels like too much, just be here at the top. Linger. And then back down. And exhale up. And inhale lower. All right, now I'm going to have you lift your first leg up to tabletop. I want you to put the same side hand on the outside of the knee. Let your knee press out into your hand and your hand into your knee, and then go back to your pelvis in your mind and make sure now you're still neutral, but that it's even left to right. Can you crunch again and stay centered with your upper body now that the legs feel all weird like this? Nod your chin, curl forward as you exhale. Inhale, come back down. And again, exhale, flex forward. Inhale, lower. Like reset that isometric press. Get the arm and leg, then flex up. Inhale, back down, and exhale to curl. Inhale, lower. Stay up on this one. You're going to take one more breath in. Now when you exhale, I want you to rotate your upper body and then turn back to center. Exhale to twist and back to center. Exhale, rotate and back to center. 2 more times like that. And return. Last one. And return. All right, lower your head. Let's switch legs and hands. All right, so just get that pressure between the hand and the leg. On your exhale, you're going to nod the chin, flex forward, sliding your ribs to your hips. Inhale, back down. Exhale, stabilize, then lift. Inhale, lower. I kind of rushed you through the setup. Try to sense your pelvis this time. See if you are even left to right. And if you're still neutral, if you sense that you've imprinted, drop your pubic bone down a little bit to bring that curve into your back. You're coming up again. You're staying up on this one. All right, one more breath in, holding it. Now exhale, you're going to rotate towards the lifted leg and return. If you're frustrated by this, like you don't feel like you're going very far, you're not doing it wrong. That's definitely how it should be. I want you to take that little amount of motion and then just linger again. Hold, decelerate, test. Is that your end range? Come back. 2 more times. Rotate and return. 1 more time. Across and return. Lower your head back down. Don't switch hands, but do switch legs. Sorry, I forgot that works a little different. All right. Opposite hand against the inside of the knee, but back to coming up to the center. Exhale as you lift. Inhale, return. Exhale, crunch up. Inhale to lower. Because we've done so many now, this is when your body's likely to imprint. When your abs start to fatigue, you're going to try to recruit extra muscles. Do 1 more time. And down. All right, no twist on that one. Just same thing on the other side. So if you do feel like, okay, there's a lot of crunches, just hang in there. This last set, pubic bone heavy, get even left to right, and press the knee into the hand. As you exhale, flex forward. Inhale to return. See if you can sense how the left and right oblique, which are both involved in lifting you, feel so different though. They are managing very different forces into the pelvis from the hip joint and from the torso. Last one. Exhale up and inhale back down. All right, from there, let's flip over onto your stomach. What are we doing? Oh, yeah, I know. All right, we're going to start out with a set of swimming first, and I'm going to have you begin with your legs about hip width apart, toes slightly turned out. Oh, watch out if there's a bunch of potted plants near you, and arms overhead. All right, in your starting position, press down into your arms a little bit and get your head and your chest slightly lifted off the mat so you're in a low hover. Your gaze will stay at the mat right beneath you. So baby steps into this. When you exhale, I want you to lift your left leg and your right arm so they're about as high as the height of your head. And then inhale to lower them back down. And then switch and do the right leg and the left arm. And then lower. Keep alternating back and forth on rhythm with your breath. When you exhale, first sense your abs pulling away from the floor and then pick up the limbs. Okay, so we're going in order. I'm making that anchor again, compressing the abs, stabilizing the rib cage and the pelvis, and then moving at the shoulder and the hip. And exhale, lift. Make your limbs feel longer as they come up, like you're tractioning them out of the hip and shoulder joint. And one more time, exhale up, lower back down. Okay? So here we're activating big sheets of muscle. You should feel like a big X through your back as we integrate the left and right side. And now you're going to feel the whole X light up. We're going to lift all four limbs. Breathe in to prepare. Exhale, compress the abs first, and then reach out and up into our superhero flying. Inhale, stay, and then come back down. Okay, let's pay attention to what goes on in this move. We're going to do 3 more reps. I want you to set this first one as high as that last one was. Take a baseline of what you feel, how much you feel your back, how much you feel your abs. And then before we do the last 2, I'm going to give you like other prompts to play with the sensations. Breathe in to prepare. Exhale, abs draw in, limbs lift up, everything hovers and holds. Stay here, breathe in. Exhale to come back down. All right. If everything you felt in your back was centered here, we need to shift more work into your abs so that the work in your back can be felt up here more and down here more. We're going to see what happens. Each of the next 2 lifts will be lower than the ones before it. I want to take inventory if it feels easier. Are you in different muscles? Are you in the right muscles, the wrong muscles, all that kind of stuff. All right, breathe in to prepare. Exhale, abs draw in, reach out, and lift halfway up. Okay, so we want to feel the abs pulling in, glutes squeezing, legs long, upper back lifting your chest and chin, and then come back down. Okay, so the lower I go, the more I get the work out to the edges where I want them, and the more I can feel the core. Let's go even lower. Exhale, draw the abs in, reach out. Make this the lowest lift you can. Just get your clothes off the floor. Inhale, get longer. Exhale to drop. Okay, moral of the story is when you set your swimming, you're in that superhero, and then we flutter from there. You're going to lift even higher. So make that initial hover low and emphasize the upstroke as we go back and forth. Okay, so here's our reciprocal motion. Exhale, abs draw in, limbs reach out, float into that low hover. All right, 5 counts, we switch. Inhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep that little turnout of the legs and reaching through the toes. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Compress the abs a little deeper. Inhale, expand, get longer, and exhale. Last breath, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Reach it all out, drop it all down. All right. Leave the legs, they can stay down. Elbows bent in by your sides, and I want you to push yourself up into a little higher than a hover. Leave like 2 or 3 ribs still touching the mat though. All right, so you've got a little pressure into your forearms. Can you also draw your shoulder blades together and open your chest a little bit? Let's take a side bend from here. I want you to reach one arm across to the opposite corner of your mat and then tuck it back in. You're going to do an inhale breath as you're reaching. Exhale to tuck back in. Inhale over and exhale, return. Inhale to stretch and exhale back. We're going to add the leg stepping across. So kind of like we did in the warm-up, you're going to get a more full side body stretch when we move at the hip joint. 1 more to each side and the other way. All right, push yourself back into a shell stretch. All right, let's do a couple rolling cats. I'm falling off my mats. All right, arms reaching out as far as you can. You want your hips up just a tiny bit so you can create like a rocking motion in your sit bones. Okay, when we do a shell stretch, we're usually tucked under. Here, I want you to let a little extension come into your spine. So I'm going to drop my chest, lift the chin. That's the starting position. Cliffhanger. When you exhale, you're going to tuck your tailbone under and start to flex your spine. At the same time, shift your weight into your hands. Now you're going to push your hips down. Press away from the floor with your arms to lift your chest and chin. When you exhale, drop your chin, round forward through a C shape, and then you're going to unravel on your inhale, sit bones up, chest down, chin up. Exhale, tuck your tail under, round your spine, shift your weight forward. Push the hips down, lift the heart, breathe right into the chest as you extend. Exhale, drop your chin, round your spine, roll back. Inhale, stick out your tail, drop your chest, lift your chin. Exhale, tuck your tail under and round your spine again. Drop your hips, lift your heart, lift your chin. Then drop your chin, round your spine, roll yourself back. Stick your tailbone out, open your chest. One more time. Exhale, tuck your tail, round your spine. Drop your hips, lift your heart. And then curl forward. Curl backwards. Curl wherever you want. Stick out your tailbone. Oopsie doopsie. All right. Stay wristy. Leg pull front, which I will tell you. I've been doing this exercise on this mat, and the mat in my floor. It's like an ice skating rink. All right. See if it'll stay more still now. Let's practice creating plank. So spread out your fingers and then just come into a full plank with a little space in between your legs. Can't be a lot though. And get comfortable with your weight of your shoulders over your wrists, and then come on back down. And then if you don't like how that felt, you can make different adjustments to the width of your arms, to where your weight is. You could maybe load a little more back to your legs, and then come on back down. This time you're going to go up to stay. All right, if your hips are up a little, it's okay, but don't do that on purpose. Work to get them down. Okay. Inhale. One leg up to the ceiling. Just kidding. We dropped. Not true. One leg up to hip height, not up to the ceiling at all. Very big difference. Do it again. Sorry. Leg to hip height. Shift your weight back and point your toes. Shift your weight forward and flex your foot. Lower your leg. Other one. Inhale, lift. Exhale, shift back. Inhale, shift forward. Lower your legs. Drop your knees. I'm sorry, I collapsed. It's these moments I have to reveal to you that I'm taping this at 10 o'clock at night, which is not when I think the best, because I got a newsletter out before I go to bed tonight. Okay, here we go. Up in a plank. Press away from the floor and feel your ribcage pushing up in your blades. Inhale, lift one leg. Shift back and point. Shift forward and flex. Lower your leg down. Take your other one up. Shift back, point. Shift forward, flex. Drop your legs. Drop your knees. One more set like that. Press up. Get stable. Lift your leg. Shift back. Feel a calf stretch. Shift forward. Lower your foot. Other leg up. Shift back, point. Shift forward, flex. Lower that leg. Drop your knee. Sit back in a shell stretch. All right, last but not least, you are going to sit. All right, one knee bent. In a turnout, we're going to do a runner stretch and a side bend as a combination. Hands start on the sides of your body. Lift up the arm from the bent knee side and reach down towards the opposite foot. You're going to come back up through vertical, plant your arm on the floor, hand on the floor, lift your hips, and make a side bend. And then lower back down. And we're going to keep alternating. So you'll draw a rainbow to the leg. We're going to stretch the hamstring there. Rainbow back to the floor. Pivot onto your knee and your foot and allow your head to fall. You want to really push up from that part of the ribs. And then land it back down. One more on this side. Reaching towards the leg. Up and over. Now hips up. Head falls. Side bend. And then land it back down. All right, we're going to switch legs. So I'm going to rotate to follow that rainbow shape, reach towards the pinky toe. Another rainbow, hand to the floor, hips up, side bend. And then come back down. And then we reach towards that long leg. Rainbow, spread those fingers wide when you plant the hand, lift the hips and push your hips forward from your glutes, and then come back down. One more each way. So big rainbow. I forgot to talk about deceleration on this one. Hey, by the way, it's when you come down from this. So watch that shoulder. Keep pushing away from the floor from there as you gently land that hip. We made it. There, I didn't lose focus till like the last I didn't lose focus till I fell in the middle of an exercise, really. All right, have a great day.